Hello, human beings. This is a short video in which we are going to quickly talk about vocal health. Yay! What does vocal health mean? Does anybody know? Anyway, I'm gonna state the obvious. Regardless of what your teacher suggests, regardless of what I may advise or suggest, or Bob down the street, only listen to a medical professional, please. If you have a problem with your voice, find an ENT, ear, nose, throat specialist, or a laryngologist. Talk to them. Find someone. They're expensive, but just don't take medical advice from random people. That being said, I really just want to talk about a couple of basics and some really low-level advice that I would consider quite good in relation to vocal health. The first thing that I would want you to do as a singer is I would want you to know your own baseline. Every human being is different, everyone's voice is different, everyone's body is different. So you really want to get in touch with your instrument and you want to know what is normal for you. It doesn't matter if it's weird for everyone else. It also doesn't matter if something that is going wrong in your voice is inaudible to everyone else and everyone thinks it isn't a problem. It might be abnormal for you. However, for you to notice and know that something is abnormal, you need to establish your normal. So, a couple of ways that you can do this. That's kind of the beauty of doing repetitive, predictable, really boring exercises. That's the benefit of having a standard warm-up, is the minute it feels different, you feel it. Because you're so used to doing it, and you do it so often. Now, that being said, that can be one exercise. Yeah, just do like one exercise that's always the same, and check in with that one. I would advise that exercise go throughout the entirety of your range and goes quite high, because you do want to check in with your high notes. Those are usually the first to go if there's a problem. Pick whatever melody, flip as you want to. You're not trying to sound good. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're not trying to get approval by a teacher. You're just trying to see, okay, if I just do this, whenever, however, does it sound the way it usually sounds? Go all the way to the top. I would do a descending pattern, so I wouldn't go, like, just, why the effort? You're just checking in. Another option is you could have a song that you sing, that you always sing, that you know like the back of your hand, and if anything ever changed, you would know. The bonus of the song, it's more fun. It's more fun, and you are checking in with more movable parameters, and you are testing your voice under more real-life circumstances than just doing an exercise, which is not reality. It is a more controlled environment than a song. The downside of it, it doesn't probably test the entirety of your range. So you could do a song plus a little bit of your high end, whatever you need, but figure it out for yourself, have it standardized in whichever way. All right. There would be two things I would love you to look out for as singers, but especially if you are doing distortions and you're screaming your head off. The first thing that I would want you to be aware of is any loss of any high note, any loss of range. Parenthesis, this comes with a caveat. If you're doing weird stuff, like you're training whistle register and you are going super high and you're doing range extension and all that kind of fun stuff, maybe don't include that in what you're thinking of, because your absolute highest notes can be a bit variable from day to day. But, you know, like you do this over a 2-week period, and I want you to make a note of a high note that you can always sing. No questions asked. You have that high note. That note is solidly within your range. It doesn't matter what day it is. You can sing that note. Any loss of that? Alarm bells. Just small alarm bells. Micro ones, not huge church bells. Mini bell, take a break. For the day. Rest it, see if it's back the next day. If it isn't back, be lazy. See if it's back the next day. Hopefully, it will be. That's the first thing. If it hasn't come back, or if there's a permanent change over like a 2-week period, go to your doctor. If there's an audible change, if there's a change in sensation, whatever, go to your doctor. Yay! Find a doctor. If you don't have a doctor, find a doctor. I highly recommend you find a doctor, or a doctor that you have in mind before something goes wrong. If something goes wrong, it can be pretty stressful, and that might not be the best time to start trying to find a doctor. Just a concept for you. The second thing that I want you to pay attention to is I would love you to pay attention to the sensation you have when you swallow. As a singer, you have a beautiful opportunity here to combine this with sipping water throughout your practice and throughout your day. Yay, hydration excuses. All you're doing is you're sipping a bit of water and you're noticing how that feels. It should feel normal, whatever that means for you and your body. If something feels different, weird, tired, a little bit fatigued, maybe even a tiny bit of pain, where if you're not doing anything else, if you're speaking, if you're singing, you don't notice it, but specifically when you swallow, you're like, ooh, that's a bit sore. That's an early warning sign. You're slightly going in the wrong direction. You might have had a little misstep or a little blimp, a little problem during rehearsal or the song or whatever. Proceed with caution for the rest of the gig, rehearsal, practice session, whatever it is. Be a little bit more zen, a little bit lighter, a little bit lazier, maybe, cut it short. Generally, don't be a hero. So just know your baseline, monitor your high notes, and monitor your swallowing sensations. And if you ever have a problem, talk to a doctor. Find a doctor. Woo! If you're interested in vocal health stuff, I will add a link below to Vocal Health Education. They have a nice course called Voice Care for Singers, and they can link you with a bunch of professional singing teachers who know a little bit more about voice care, etc. I train with them, so there's that bias, just acknowledging that, but it's a good resource. So yeah. And no matter what, just zen. It's not the end of the world. Nice and lazy.